All right. Check this out. You ever wonder how YouTube decides what ads show up on your videos? I mean, it sounds simple, right? But here's the thing. Sometimes it goes totally sideways, and the stuff that pops up makes you stop and think, wait, what the hell is happening here? Take a show like High School DxD, crazy popular, fan service everywhere, sexualized content all over the place, and suddenly advertisers are panicking, creators are freaking out, and the audience, well, they're stuck right in the middle watching this insane mess unfold. And what we're really talking about isn't just anime, it's about freedom of content, money, algorithms, and where the hell lines are drawn in this digital age. Stick with me because by the end of this, you're going to see how messed up it really is and why it matters to every creator and viewer out there. Man, here's the thing that blows my mind about YouTube and these ad placement problems. It's like they're running this massive billion-dollar operation, but the way ads end up on videos feels like it's being managed by a drunk intern because you'll have creators bending over backwards to make their content advertiser friendly. They're editing words, censoring jokes, staying away from edgy topics just to avoid demonetization. And then YouTube turns around and throws these sexually charged ads in front of the most random videos, like you're watching a family-friendly gaming clip or some tech review about headphones, and boom, there's an anime girl in lingerie selling you on High School DxD or some mobile game with half-naked characters. And that's the stuff that people can't wrap their heads around because it's like the rules don't apply equally. The creators get hammered with these strict guidelines, but advertise as long as the check clears, they slide right through, no problem. And it creates this wild hypocrisy where the platform is preaching safety, telling parents we're a safe space, we're family-friendly, while at the same time serving up ads that are way more explicit than anything most creators would dare to upload. And it makes you think, who's actually in charge of what gets shown? Is it the algorithm? Is it human oversight? Or is it just the money machine running wild? Because when you see ads like that showing up before kids' content or just regular everyday videos, you realize how broken the system is. And creators notice it too. They're like, wait a second, I can't even make a joke without risking my revenue. But YouTube has no problem putting a borderline NSFW ad on my channel. So now my audience is seeing this and associating it with me. And that's bad for the creator's brand and bad for the viewer's trust. But YouTube doesn't seem to care as long as those ads, and the whole thing just feels like the priorities are flipped. The people who actually build the platform, the creators, they're walking on eggshells while the advertisers, who are the ones driving the money, get this free pass, and that's the core of the ad placement issue. It's not just about inappropriate ads slipping through, it's about a system that feels rigged. One set of rules for creators, another set for advertisers. And at the end of the day, it leaves viewers confused, creators frustrated, and YouTube looking like it doesn't even know what kind of platform it wants to be. Man, this whole idea of brand safety versus viewer experience is where YouTube really shows how upside down the priorities are, because on paper it sounds simple. You want advertisers to feel comfortable so they keep pumping money into the platform, but at the same time you want viewers to have a smooth, natural experience where they're not getting hit with ads that feel totally out of place. And what's wild is that YouTube leans so heavy into the brand safety side that it ends up alienating the very people who make the content and watch it. Like they'll demonetize a creator for using the wrong word, or they'll put a yellow $sign on a video because it talked about something sensitive, even though that conversation was mature, nuanced, maybe even important. But then those same viewers are forced to sit through ads that are way more offensive or jarring than anything the creator said. And that's the contradiction. The whole platform bends over backwards for brands, not for the actual people using it. And it creates this weird environment where the content is sterilized, creators censor themselves, and the audience just feels like they're being treated like numbers, not penned. You can see how this makes everyone cynical. The viewers get frustrated because the ads don't match the vibe of the content they're watching. Like imagine tuning into a chill cooking video and suddenly getting hit with some hypersexual anime ad. It's like, what the hell is? And the creators are pissed because they're losing revenue and trust at the same time. And all of it is so brands can feel safe, which is hilarious because brands want eyeballs, they want engagement. But if the viewers are annoyed or tuning out, isn't that counterproductive? So it's like the system is eating itself, chasing brand safety so hard that it kills the natural experience that made YouTube popular in the first place. And what makes it crazier is that viewers aren't stupid. They see the hypocrisy, they know the rules aren't consistent, they know YouTube is protecting the advertisers way more than the community. And that's what makes people start questioning the platform. Because if your whole thing is supposed to be for the people by the people, but every decision you make favors corporations over creators and viewers, then what are you really building? And that's the core tension. It's not just about what ads run where. It's about a platform forgetting that without viewers and creators, there's nothing for brands to be safe on in the first place. You know what's crazy about algorithms, and especially YouTube's algorithm? It's this invisible machine that decides so much about what you see, what creators get paid, what content blows up. And yet it's full of blind spots that make no sense when you're actually on the ground using the platform, because you'll see harmless videos getting flagged or demonetized over nothing. Like a creator says one edgy word or covers a controversial topic in a thoughtful way and boom, they're punished. But then you'll see straight up scammy clickbait, borderline NSFW ads, or content sliding through like butter. And you realize the algorithm isn't really about context or common sense. It's just this blunt instrument scanning for keywords and patterns. And the wild thing is the algorithm doesn't care about nuance. It doesn't understand when someone is reporting on an issue versus promoting it. So you get these bizarre scenarios where educational videos about health or history are demonetized while some shady low-effort content keeps running just fine, and the audience doesn't know any of that. They just think creators are being inconsistent. But really it's the algorithm tripping over itself. And then YouTube doubles down on automation because there's just too much content for humans to check. So you've got this giant platform being policed by a robot that doesn't fully get human culture, humor, or context. And that's where the blind spots explode, because it punishes the wrong people while letting the stuff it's supposed to stop sneak through. And you've got creators constantly trying to game the system, changing titles, avoiding words, making weird edits just to dodge algorithmic landmines. And it turns the whole process into this cat and mouse game, where the creators aren't focused on making the best content, they're focused on surviving the algorithm. And at the same time, viewers are getting fed whatever the algorithm thinks they'll binge, which sometimes means you're pushed down rabbit holes that aren't healthy or balanced. And it's like the algorithm doesn't even know it's shaping culture in real time, but it is, because what it promotes ends up defining trends. What it blocks ends up silencing conversations. And all of that is decided by code that isn't transparent and clearly isn't perfect. So when people talk about algorithmic blind spots, that's what they mean. It's the gaps where the system fails to see the bigger picture, fails to understand nuance. And in those gaps, you get unfair punishment for creators, bad experiences for viewers, and a platform that feels less like a community and more like a machine spitting out content based on half-baked signals. The thing about community backlash that a lot of these big platforms don't really get is that it's not some random little flare. It's like a pressure cooker that's been building for a long time, and when it blows hard, because people who use YouTube or Twitch or any social platform every day, they feel invested in it. They build their lives, their routines, their friendships around it. So when the platform makes decisions that feel disconnected from the community, whether it's cracking down on creators unfairly, pushing weird ads, censoring stuff, or favoring corporate content over independent voices, the users don't just shrug it off, they get pitted, and it turns into this tidal wave of criticism, memes, boycotts, hashtags, all of it. And what's wild is these companies always seem surprised, like they didn't see it coming. But man, you can feel it brewing. You read the comment sections, you see the frustration, you hear creators talk about how they're getting screwed. And then the moment something goes public, like a demonetization scandal, or an ad placement issue, or some new policy that makes no sense, the whole community rallies against it. And that backlash is powerful because it's not just one person complaining, it's thousands, sometimes millions, all unified around the idea that the platform doesn't respect them. And what's crazy is, the companies almost always respond with some PR statement that feels robotic, like we value the community, but the actions don't change much, and that makes people angrier, because the backlash isn't just about one issue, it's about the pattern of not being heard. And that's where you get trust breaking down, creators feeling abandoned, viewers feeling like the platform they loved has been hijacked by money and corporate interests. And the backlash keeps feeding itself, because every time another issue pops up, people bring up the old ones, like remember when they screwed us here, remember when they ignored us there, and it snowballs. And what these platforms don't understand is that the community isn't just noise, it's the foundation. Without the community, they don't have content, they don't have culture, they don't have eyeballs for advertisers. So when you let backlash grow, and you don't address it in a real human, transparent way, you're basically cutting your own legs out from under you. And that's why community backlash is so dangerous. It's not just anger online, it's a warning that people are losing faith. And once that faith is gone, man, it's almost impossible to get it back. The bigger debate that all of this really points to isn't just about YouTube or Twitch or one policy here and there. It's about the way the entire digital world is being shaped by a handful of corporations that sit at the top and decide how billions of people interact with culture.
And that's insane when you think about it, because the internet was supposed to be this open place where anyone could share ideas and build an audience. But now you've got these giant platforms acting like gatekeepers, using algorithms and rules to basically decide what gets seen and what gets buried. And that's not just a content problem, that's a freedom of expression problem, that's a culture problem. Because when the biggest conversations in society are happening online, and those conversations are being filtered through systems designed to maximize ad revenue and brand comfort, then the whole thing becomes you start asking yourself who really controls what people are exposed to. Like, is it creators and communities, or is it corporations and AI models? And that's where this bigger debate comes in, because on one hand, you need some kind of moderation. You can't just have chaos. But on the other hand, when the pendulum swings too far in the direction of protecting brands and sanitizing content, you end up silencing real voices, pushing away authenticity, and creating this sterile environment where everybody's just playing by the algorithm's rules instead of saying what they really think. And what's wild is you can already see the cultural impact: people shifting to alternative platforms, people distrusting mainstream outlets, and people developing this instinct to question whether what they're seeing is authentic or curated for some agenda. And the bigger debate is really about balance. Like, how do you build a digital space that protects people from actual harm without turning into this giant corporate-controlled megaphone that only rewards the safe, ad-friendly, non-controversial content? Because humans don't live like that. Humans talk about messy stuff, controversial, uncomfortable stuff. And if the platforms that claim to represent the global town square can't handle that, then they're not really serving the culture, they're serving the corporations. And I think that's the heart of it, man. This isn't just about ads on anime clips or Twitch favoritism. It's about whether the future of the internet is going to be built for people or for brands. And that's the kind of debate that's only getting louder as more and more people realize how much power these platforms really hold. Man, when you step back and look at all of this, it's wild, right? You've got a platform that's supposed to connect creators with the world, advertisers breathing down their necks, and a whole audience that's just trying to watch what they like. And then you toss in stuff like High School DxD with all its fan service, and suddenly everyone's freaking out. Is this appropriate? Is it not? But here's the thing, it's a perfect storm of tech culture and money, and no one really has all the answers. So to everyone watching or creating, just keep doing your thing. Be smart about it, but don't let the system crush your voice. Good luck out there. Seriously, navigate it like a pro. And thank you for tuning in, for listening, for caring about this stuff, because if you're paying attention, you're already ahead of the game. Keep questioning, keep watching, and keep